an entire town inside one building. In Whittier, Alaska, roughly 270 people share a single 14-story tower. Their apartments, police station, post office, church, and school, all connected under one roof. The only road out runs through a tunnel that closes every night. So why do people choose to live here? And what does it actually feel like inside? To reach this community, you travel 60 miles southeast of Anchorage, winding past glacier-carved peaks until the land meets the sea. Here, at the head of Passage Canal in Prince William Sound, the physical environment dictates daily life. Steep granite mountains wall the town in from behind, while the cold, deep water of the fjord blocks any path forward. On a map, 60 miles feels like a short drive, but in reality, this distance acts as a physical barrier. The geography creates a stark separation from the rest of Alaska, shaping a quiet, self-contained existence. It is a setting where the outside world feels incredibly distant, an isolation that only intensifies as the seasons shift and the brutal winter weather begins to close in. During the summer, Whittier has roughly 270 residents, but that number falls to about 218 when the tourists leave and winter settles. The environmental pressure here is constant. As one of the wettest places in the U.S., the town receives an average of 200 inches of rain annually. In the winter, that moisture turns into over 20 feet of heavy snow, driven by severe winds that make outdoor movement difficult. Managing these elements shapes the daily routine of everyone who stays. To cope with the relentless weather, the community has moved its entire civic life inside, shifting away from the exposed outdoors into a protected indoor world. The center of this indoor world is Begich Towers, a 14-story concrete high-rise containing 196 apartments. Under this single roof, vertical neighborhoods take the place of traditional streets. The ground levels house the daily essentials of civic life. Residents can visit the post office, get a checkup at the medical clinic, or buy groceries at the cozy corner store without ever stepping outside. The building also contains the municipal offices, a police station, a laundromat, and a non-denominational chapel. For recreation, children use an indoor playground and a communal media room. A separate low-rise complex called Whittier Manor provides secondary housing nearby, but the tower remains the true civic heart. Even education is integrated into this enclosed system. Directly behind the high-rise sits the school, connected to the tower by a heated 150-foot underground tunnel. This physical network allows the community to conduct its entire daily routine safe from the elements. On any given Tuesday, daily life plays out along concrete corridors instead of paved streets. A resident in slippers rides the elevator down to grab a carton of milk, stops to chat with a neighbor sorting mail, and checks in on a local civic meeting down the hall. These repeated crossings turn mundane chores into natural neighborhood encounters. While outside, winds batter the reinforced concrete walls. Inside, the quiet rhythm of a small town hums along undisturbed. Residents enjoy a rare blend of total convenience and immediate connection, where personal privacy is always just an elevator ride away. Yet, even this complete indoor sanctuary eventually reaches its limit when the demands of the wider world require stepping past the threshold. To leave this sanctuary by land, every person must pass through the Anton Anderson Memorial Tunnel. This 2.5-mile passage is the only road in or out of Whittier, cutting directly through the solid granite of the mountains. Inside, cars and trains must share a single narrow lane. Because there is no room to pass, traffic flows in only one direction at a time, switching on a strict alternating schedule roughly every 30 minutes. If you miss your window, you wait. At 11 o'clock each night, The massive steel doors at the entrance close completely, locking the town away from the rest of Alaska. Anyone who misses that final evening run is simply left outside until morning. While travelers can still use seasonal boats or the train, this single-lane road remains the lifeline for daily life. The ticking schedule dictates everything from grocery runs and doctor appointments in Anchorage to emergency services. When winter storms blanket the pass, the physical limits of this connection reshape what it means to be a family. On winter mornings when the wind howls off the canal, children in Whittier get ready for school just like children anywhere else. They put on their shoes, grab their backpacks, and head out the door. But instead of stepping into the freezing gale, they take the elevator down to the basement. Here, they walk into the heated underground tunnel that leads directly to the school. This short path turns a potentially dangerous trek through heavy snow into a safe, ordinary family routine. The adaptation lets the community organize children's daily life around the weather rather than exposing them to it. Yet, this protective passage was not originally built for school children. It was born from war. In 1942, the United States military needed a secure, ice-free port to move troops and cargo into the Alaskan interior. They chose this deep-water harbor on Passage Canal, where surrounding mountains offered natural protection from potential air attacks. The Army quickly built a rail spur and carved the 2.5-mile tunnel through solid granite, establishing Whittier as a strategic supply gateway for the Alaska Railroad. When World War II ended, the site did not lose its utility. As the Cold War intensified, Whittier's proximity to Russia made it an essential northern outpost. The military planned a massive expansion, preparing to house over 1,000 personnel in a heavily fortified base. This grand design took shape between 1953 and 1957 with the construction of the Hodge Building. Designed as a self-contained barracks, the structure arose as 3 merged units, the East, Middle, and West buildings. While the military originally planned a series of these giant high-rises along the shoreline, defense priorities shifted, and only 2 towers were ever completed. When the military eventually withdrew, the empty Hodge Building was the only one successfully repurposed for civilian housing. In 1972, the city renamed the complex Begich Towers to honor Alaska's Congressman Nick Begich. That October, Begich vanished during a flight from Anchorage to Juneau. His aircraft was never found. This change turned a Cold War fortress into a vertical neighborhood, reshaping how families would soon carry out their daily routines. Outside the concrete walls, Whittier is a working maritime town. At the docks, a fleet of over 30 commercial vessels harvest salmon, halibut, and crab, keeping the harbor active year-round. During the summer, wilderness guides and recreation workers welcome thousands of travelers arriving by sea and rail, proving that daily life here is not entirely confined indoors. But sustaining this remote outpost requires constant care. The 70-year-old high-rise demands ongoing maintenance to withstand the coastal elements. A major $3 million renovation in 2016 upgraded the building's utility networks, air exchange systems, and flooring, keeping this vertical community a safe, warm haven for the families who work the cold Alaskan waters. When a resident's daughter posted a TikTok about life in Begich Towers, the video quickly gained millions of views. Online commenters, looking in from the outside, wondered if this self-contained world was some kind of cult. But to the people who actually live here, the reality is far more ordinary. Mayor Jenna H. Miller runs the civic government directly from the upper floors, and while she knows the town's reputation as Alaska's weirdest city, she rejects the label. For teacher Erica Fitzgerald, winter mornings are about normal family routines. She sees the tower as a supportive community under one roof. It is a place where residents say there is nothing to do, yet everything is here. Choosing to stay in Whittier is a quiet, personal decision. For some, the draw is an intense closeness, where neighbors act as family, sharing meals and watching out for each other's children. For others, the high-rise offers a perfect, quiet reclusion. They can retreat behind a closed apartment door, shut out the harsh winter, and enjoy total solitude. Long-term residents often say that nobody arrives in this harbor town by accident. You must deliberately choose to cross through the mountain. Those who stay find their own balance. There are moments when the concrete walls feel protective, keeping the freezing winds at bay, and other times when the building can feel confining. Yet, they remain. In a place where outsiders see a puzzle, residents find a home, leaving the ultimate question of why they stay answered only by the quiet rhythm of the halls. Today, as our world grows increasingly disconnected, Whittier proves that community isn't about wide open spaces, but shared survival. In a hyper-connected age, this single tower offers a rare choice: total solitude or absolute belonging. Would you choose to live here? Let us know in the comments.